Alright guys, in this video, Dr. Abel Damina has come with another revelation. And he's unveiling and revealing here why Jesus Christ walked on the sea. And I believe you all know the story when Jesus Christ stepped on and started walking on the sea. And Peter also called on him that he wanted to come and emulate Jesus Christ. And you know the rest of the story. But we don't know the reason behind it. We don't know the revelation behind it, why Jesus Christ walked on the sea by that time. But here, thank God, we have Dr. Abel Damina, who will be revealing that deeper secret, the main reason and what he wants to pass across that made him walk on the sea. Alright guys, let us watch this from Dr. Abel Damina.
We see Jesus exactly replicating in reality the things we found, for example, in Moses. Let me show you a typical example. I've said it many times that the four Gospels are written as theology. The four Gospels are written as theology. So a shepherd and an evangelist are maturity functions. They are maturity functions. They are functions of a mature believer. When you are matured, you function as an evangelist, you function as a prophet, you function as a pastor, you function as a teacher. Someone has asked me somewhere, Dr. Damina, if you say even prophets are supposed to be teachers, where did you get that from? I say from the whole Bible where you read. Is how did you arrive at that? I say I arrived at that by research. Can you pay the fees? If you can pay the fees, I can take you through the research. Because I've discovered some people don't deserve scholarship. Because when you give people scholarship, they have no value for it. See, this teaching I'm teaching now is scholarship. Because no school fees is charged. So some people have to pay school fees to value what you're teaching. Don't give it to them on a platter. Some people have to pay. And if they refuse to pay for it, they will pay it in prayer house, on the floor. They'll be on the floor rolling and paying. You understand? They will pay very expensively. Now Mark chapter 6 verse 45, PJ. Let's do some further mass. Are you ready for further mass? Let me see if I can close this class with further mass. Mark chapter 6 verse 45. I know you can handle it. You are good guys. You're smart. Read for me.
And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people.
Did you observe? Please pay attention. Read again, PJ. Pay attention. If you were relaxing, sit up now. Pay attention. Read, girl.
And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people.
To get to the other side. Verse 48.
And he saw them toiling and rowing.
Underline toiling, underline rowing. Read on.
For the wind was contrary unto them.
Underline wind. Read on.
And about the fourth watch of the night.
Underline fourth watch of the night. Read on.
He cometh unto them, walking upon the sea.
Underline walking upon the sea. Read on.
And would have passed by them.
Underline and would have passed by them. Yet again, this is an Exodus narrative. This narrative by Brother Mark is an Exodus narrative. If you go to Exodus, the same thing happened in Exodus chapter 14, where you find out that they passed through the sea. Now in Exodus 16, he gave them bread. Don't miss that. He gave them bread. You have manna. Then you have Moses gave them manna. Then he went to Mount Sinai for the law. Then they crossed the sea. Observe. He gave them manna. He went to Mount Sinai for the law. Then they crossed the sea. Jesus gave them bread. Then Jesus went up to the mountain to pray. After that, he crossed the sea. So this account we read is an Exodus narrative. Jesus gave them bread, miracle. Then he went up to the mountain to pray. And in the fourth watch of the night, they saw him walking across the sea. Mark doesn't leave us confused about what he just recorded Jesus did. Now let's see some very crucial details. Mark 6:48 to 49. Mark 6:48 to 49, PJ.
And he saw them toiling and rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the fourth watch of the night he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them.
He said they had this toiling of the wind in rowing. They had toiling of the wind in rowing. In rowing. This word toiling is the word basalizo. B-A-S-A-L-I-Z-O. Basalizo. Usually, the seas, when they are violent, they represent demonic activity in Bible theology. When seas are violent, they represent demonic activity. And then he uses the word, they had a tormenting wind. They had a tormenting wind. Read for me Mark 6:48. Mark 6:48, PJ.
And he saw them toiling and rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the fourth watch of the night he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them.
PJ, read Mark chapter 5 verse 6 and 7, so you don't miss what Mark is saying.
But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him.
Next verse.
And cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not.
Thou torment me not. That is, basalizo me not. Torment me not. Basalizo me not. Look at Luke 8:29. Luke 8:28 and 29. Luke 8:28 and 29.
When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not.
Torment me not. Next verse.
For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters. And he brake the bands and was driven off the devil into the wilderness.
So that word torment me not, basalizo, is repeated. Matthew 8:6. PJ, Matthew 8:6.
And saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented.
Grievously tormented. Verse 29. Matthew 8:29.
And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Art thou come hither to torment us before our time? So even demons know that there is a time set for judgment. Okay? And they know that God has integrity before that time. You are not permitted to torment them. So it is used for torment, basalizo. So this word is to represent something chaotic. Of course, in the background, something demonic, something violent. So he saw them toiling that way. They were toiling as if they were being tormented by demons. Toiling and rowing, okay, in that sea. So what did he do? Mark 6:49. Pay attention. Mark 6:49.
But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit and cried out.
So now they are being tormented, they are rowing and struggling and being in torment, and they saw what was tormenting them. Jesus was walking on top of it. What was tormenting them, what they were afflicted by, was what Jesus was walking on like carpet. They cried out because they thought this is a spirit. Because only a spirit can operate like this when we are still struggling. When they saw him walking on the sea, they supposed he was a spirit and they cried out. Now. Mark 6:50. Look at verse 50, PJ. Mark chapter 6 verse 50.
For they all saw him and were troubled, and immediately he talked with them and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid.
He didn't want them to miss the point. He said, Gentlemen, it is I, be of good cheer, be not afraid. It is I. Ego ima. Ego ima. It is I. That is, I am. I am the I am. Don't be afraid. I am. That is, I'm in charge of all this. Don't be afraid. That is, your deliverance has arrived. Don't be afraid. I'm teaching good here this morning. What is Mark saying? Keep that in view. Exodus 14:21, because that's an Exodus narrative. Exodus chapter 14 verse 21. PJ.
And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
Moses, that guy was a master. Put it up. Did you see what Moses just did there? Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. Moses. And the Lord caused the sea to go back. You can imagine the water body coming violently. And Moses did bam. And then the water stopped and receded. Just at the stretch of Moses. You can imagine how powerful this guy Moses was. Now watch. He says to go back by a strong east wind all that night. So as the sea was coming, a wind just came and turned the water backward all night. And in the process, made the sea dry land. And the waters were divided. Boy. Now, so we find sea, wind, night, and then waters were divided. Remain in Mark 6. Don't remove the image of Mark 6 as we are reading other places. Keep that Mark 6. Exodus 14:24, PJ. Exodus 14:24.
And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
And trouble in the morning. In the morning watch. In the morning watch. Where did we see in the morning? Where did we see fourth hour of the night? Mark. So see morning again here. In the morning watch. Now, that morning watch is the same thing as the fourth watch. Is the word fulake. Fulake. P-H-U-L-A-K-E. Fulake. In the Greek. Tetatos fulake. Now write fulake first, then take tetatos fulake. T-E-T-A-R-T-O-S. Fulake. Now if you take the Septuagint, the word Septuagint of the book of Mark chapter 6, in the Greek is the same word. Now you know what the Septuagint is, right? The Septuagint is the Greek translation of the Old Testament. The Old Testament is Hebrew. But when Jesus lived on earth, there was a Greek translation of the Hebrew translation of the Bible. So Jesus used the Septuagint Greek. He used the Greek translation of Genesis to Malachi. Am I teaching at all? Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, if you take the Septuagint of Mark 6, in the Greek is the same word we have in Mark 6:48. Fourth watch, morning watch. Now pay attention to Exodus 14:13. Read for me, PJ. Exodus 14:13. I'm almost done. Pay attention.
And Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
Now when he said fear not, is the Greek word thasko. T-H-A-R-S-C-O. Thasko. It means take courage. Take courage. Fear not. Mark 6:50, PJ. Mark in Exodus he said fear not, take courage. Mark 6:50.
For they all saw him and were troubled, and immediately he talked with them and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid.
Be not afraid, be of good cheer, the same words. In other words, Mark is saying Jesus is a new Moses. He is going to lead the people from the works of darkness, from the violent torment of the enemy, into where God has called him. He said, Moses, Jesus is a new Moses. Just like Moses led the Exodus audience, Jesus also in the Mark narrative will lead those people that were toiling and rowing. So you didn't see what I saw. Ziko la bita na karote. Hey, shekobora tata. You know, as they were rowing and toiling in that 4th hour of the night, that early hour, the moment Jesus saw them and they were afraid, and he told them, be not afraid. The Bible there tells us that the moment Jesus got to the boat where they were toiling and rowing, they arrived. They were still far from destination where they saw Jesus. They were struggling, and when Jesus walked to them and said, be not afraid, the moment he touched the boat where they were, all of them arrived. There was no more travel. There was no more distance. The new Moses who brought them out took them in instant. I don't know if you get what I'm... For they all saw him and were troubled. And immediately he talked to them, said unto them, be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Next verse. And he went up unto them into the ship, and the wind ceased. And they were so amazed in themselves beyond measure and wondered. Next verse. For they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their hearts was hardened. Even with all that has happened, they still did not believe. How many of you know that the people Moses brought out of Egypt still did not believe?
All right, guys, welcome back. What do you think about this revelation? Or whatever you think about it, why can't you relate it in the comment section? And don't forget to join us here, like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this channel. Then let us do this again in another video.